Hello family, welcome back to my channel Gracefully Update. I want to welcome you today into another wonderful great segment with my very self Gracefully Update. Today we're going to be talking about the queen's character, but today I'm going to be emphasizing on our little teenagers, our offspring, our little daughters that will grow up someday to become a woman. Yes, every woman is a queen, but there are characters that is expected from a queen, from a very noble queen. And I want you to understand something that every woman is a queen, but depends on how you carry yourself, depends on the life, on the standard you are living. We make, we present who you are. But today I'm going to be emphasizing on our little kiddos, our little teenagers, our daughters that will grow up someday to become a woman. Because a lot of mothers today, they missed it when they were growing up. But it's never too late to make amends. That is the more reason why I want to be sharing some tips today on how we can be able to bring up our little daughters, our teenagers, our offspring in a dimension when they grow up, they will not make the same error a lot of mothers has made today. Women are queens. Every woman is a queen. Depends on how you see yourself, depends on how you carry yourself, depends on the lifestyle you are living, will make people to be able to differentiate who you really are. But something you must get to understand in life that you are a queen because God creates women special. Women are the one that bring life into this world. Women are the one that reproduce men and female into this world. That is the more reason why as a young woman, we must learn to carry ourselves. We must learn to have this character of a queen. We must learn to teach our daughters, our offspring, our teenagers on how to carry themselves. So that's the error a lot of women have made as in the past will not reoccur in the life of their children. Yes, a lot of parents fail to help their daughters to grow up. A lot of parents, it's not that they don't know this thing, but they were unable to teach them. They were unable to impart it on them. A lot of parents, all they did was to just beat, 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 beat. But really, they were unable to really empower, enlighten those children, those little daughters that are women today on how to go about life, on how they ought to be carrying themselves, on how they ought to be presenting themselves. That is the more reason why I want to be sharing some few tips that will help us to teach our teenagers. In Europe today, I've seen a lot of beautiful, intelligent, young teenagers that has been messed up because of the same error of their mother. Because the mother could not be able to impart the same incident or the same lifestyle they are living, they take it to be normal, and their daughters are growing up to copy the same lifestyle. That is the more reason why I want to be sharing some tips that will help us to teach our teenagers, our daughters, on how to go on in life. Number one, you should let a girl, a daughter of yours, know how to discover themselves at the age of 12. At the age of 12, you should be teaching your daughters on how to carry themselves. You should be able to sit down one on one to enlighten them on how to go about life. Number one, you must tell them how a noble queen ought to carry themselves. You must let them know how to fear God, because that is number one. When you teach them how to fear God, how to live in the right path of God, you will see things will be very easy for you to bring them up in the right way. It will be easy for them to absorb the character of a queen. It will be easy for them to absorb the character of a noble queen. Yes, a lot of young women today at their teenage age, they've given birth to children 1, 2, 3, 4 because there was nobody there for them to empower them, to teach them on how to live their life. The first thing we must learn to teach our daughters at the age of 12, you must teach them on how to carry themselves. You must let them know that they are unique. You must let them know who they are, that their body is precious. Their body should not be messed up with. A lot of women today, it wasn't their fault that they gave birth at a teenage age. Why? Because there was no parents there to teach them or to enlighten them on how to go about life. That is the more reason why you're watching today. You must learn to teach our daughters on how to carry themselves. The first thing we must learn to teach our daughters is tell them they should carry strength inside of them. When I mean strength, you must teach them how to be confident of themselves. You must nurture them on how to have self-confidence of themselves, because when you impart self-confidence on them, they will be able to differentiate the good from the evil. They will be able to know who they are. As they begin to grow, as they begin to see life, they will be able to know who they are. And we should not be afraid to teach them about. We should not be afraid to tell them about life, because parents, a lot of parents, they could not be able to really deliberate, even if they don't want to go about talking about this thing called sex to their children, but at least there should be a way that you make them to sit to their children, but at least there should be a way that you make them to see things in a positive dimension. Because a lot of young women today, they are regretting they were able to discover the queen in them after they have messed up, after they have made a lot of errors in their life. That is the more reason why we shouldn't allow our daughters to go through the same scenario or to go through the same experience that we might have experienced. I've seen a lot of women today, the same mistake they made, their daughters are growing up again to copy the same lifestyle, which is not supposed to be. Every woman should have time to teach your daughter to their children, but at least there should be a way that you make them to see things in a positive dimension. Because a lot of young women today, they are regretting they were able to discover the queen in them after they have messed up, after they have made a lot of errors in their life. That is the more reason why we shouldn't allow our daughters to go through the same scenario or to go through the same experience that we might have experienced. I've seen a lot of women today, the same mistake they made, their daughters are growing up again to copy the same lifestyle, which is not supposed to be. Every woman should have time to teach your daughter that their body should be kept. The only way a young teenager to carry herself as a queen, she have to be satisfied with herself. You must learn to teach your daughters how to be satisfied with themselves in their teenage age. You must learn to tell them that there is nothing a man will offer to them that will make them to give themselves out. You must let them to know that their body is something that is precious, that cannot be toyed with, no matter the price that is given to them. A lot of people, a lot of parents fail to teach women this thing I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, they manage to grow up themselves. After they've grown up to a matured age, they begin to children. But at least there should be a way that you make them to see things in a positive dimension. Because a lot of young women today, they are regretting they were able to discover the queen in them after they have messed up, after they have made a lot of errors in their life. That is the more reason why we shouldn't allow our daughters to go through the same scenario or to go through the same experience that we might have experienced. I've seen a lot of women today, the same mistake they made, their daughters are growing up again to copy the same lifestyle, which is not supposed to be. Every woman should have time to teach your daughter that their body should be kept. The only way a young teenager, a young child can be able to carry herself as a queen, she have to be satisfied with herself. You must learn to teach your daughters how to be satisfied with themselves in their teenage age. You must learn to tell them that there is nothing a man will offer to them that will make them to give themselves out. You must learn them to know that their body is something that is precious, that cannot be toyed with no matter the price that is given to them. A lot of people, a lot of parents fail to teach women this thing I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, they manage to grow up themselves. After they've grown up to a matured age, they begin to realize this thing, because there's a level you get to in life. There are things you used to do that you can't dare do it. Why? Because you've get the knowledge of those things. Likewise to you watching me, you might have a daughter and you say, I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to tell her anything. I just love her. I just have to leave her to live her life. No. We must learn to begin to impart our daughters, so that the same error, the same mistake a lot of women make today, that they look at themselves, now they are trying to carry themselves like a queen. Every woman is a queen. But we must try to feed our daughters. At the age of 12, we begin to, when you watch a 12 years old child, there is something unique about them. They begin to grow very ripe. They begin to grow very beautiful and fresh. That is the time every parent, most especially mothers, it doesn't matter even if you are a single mother, you must not allow your daughter to live the life you're living. You must not allow your daughter to mess herself the way you messed yourself. Because it's going to be an error for you to allow your daughter to end up the way you end up. No. You must teach them on how to keep themselves. Let them know they should carry. The first thing where a mother should learn to teach their daughter, you must learn to teach them to be satisfied with themselves. You must learn to teach them that they are enough for themselves. When you teach them in that dimension at the age of 12, let them know that what they need now is their book. They shouldn't teach them about intimacy. Teach them about relationship. Teach them about, yes, young men will come, young boys will come. I want to be your friend. I want to do. Teach them those things. They need to be aware of it. They need to be enlightened about it. A lot of women today are regretting that if they have the opportunity to listen to these things I'm talking about, at least I think 90% of those women would have not been in the same dish they find themselves today. Many of our African mothers, what they do is beat. They do it in the art way, but they don't tell you what they are beating you for. A lot of daughters have been bruised without even telling them why they are beating them. You go out and you come back, is beat. You do this, is beat. They are beating you just for nothing. But we must learn not to make the same mistake our mothers, our fathers made. When we can be able to nurture our daughters, tell them, hey, at the age of 12, when they start seeing their flu, tell them and teach them about their flu. Teach them how to keep themselves. Tell them, enlighten them about it. You know, woman, there are so many things about woman that you need to teach your teenage daughters. A lot of mothers don't care. You must teach them how to wash their undies. You have to teach them how to wash their inner body. You teach them how to wash it thoroughly, how to keep themselves. The character of a queen. When you teach them how to clean up themselves, when you teach them how to carry themselves, when you teach them how to make themselves that they should be satisfied with themselves, there is no way. I don't want to go deep, but when you are talking with your daughter, bring it raw to her. Yes, tell her at the stage you are now, you are very beautiful. You are a beautiful flower. Everybody want to come around you. Everybody want to touch you. Give her details. Let her understand what I am talking about. Tell her blue and red and green. Give her details. When you're able to give her details, she will not find herself in the mess, because you will build her to a level that she will be so confident, she will have this strength, this stamina. Even when she's not around, she's not where you are, she can be able to keep herself. She can be able to carry herself. You teach her about dignity. You teach her how to wash her in and out. You teach her how to be satisfied with herself. You teach her how to behave. You teach her how to keep herself. When you are able to do these things, at the age of 15, you will be relaxing. You will see her growing in a beautiful, a wonderful, a dynamic way. And at the end of the day, you will be glad that you were able to raise up a queen. A lot of us, we find ourselves, we were able to discover the queen in us after a lot of messed up, after a lot of errors that our parents were unable to teach us. But I'm telling you today, because of that little beautiful girl that you have, that beautiful daughter that you have, I want you to impart strength. When I mean strength, I'm talking about strength because it takes a person that has strength to be disciplined. I'm not saying strength. I know what I'm talking about. Teach her what a woman stands for. When you are able to teach your daughter what she stands for, how she ought to carry herself, the life that is expected from her, you will be glad that you never failed as a mother. As many of our parents fail today, and when you look at your life, you're not content, you're not happy with the life you're living because your parents never gave you details on how to go about life. I want to drop it here today. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the part B of a queen's character. Please don't forget to impart our daughters on how to carry themselves. Fill them with so much strength that when they go outside, they cannot dare to mess up because they know who they are. And they will know how to carry themselves. And as you do that, you will be glad you taught your daughters on how to carry themselves. I'll be dropping this video here and I will catch you on the next one. I love you. Gracefully added. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Put on our notification bell so that whenever we drop a video, you'll be aware of our video. I love you and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.